A superhero movie, a Netflix movie, and a remake of a remake of a remake, all up for Best Picture? It's like Oscar's version of The Twilight Zone. What is up, movie buffs? My name is Ryan, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Ryethemovieguy. If you like talking about movies, TV shows, and theme parks, this is the place for you. With February right around the corner, it's Super Bowl to some people, but for us movie buffs, it's Oscar season. Now, the Oscars have been through some turbulent times within the last few years, up to the point to last year where we saw a great decline in the viewership. A lot of people just stopped watching it. Why is that? My reason is that, my theory I should say, is that people are just not familiar with these movies anymore. A lot of the categories and even the winners, no one really hears of them up until they win. But for this year, we have a lot of movies that are mostly appealing to the audiences. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of these 8 movies here nominated for Best Picture. I'm not really going to go through all 8 of them, but I'm just going to talk about the ones that have gained an impact. Let's just start out with the obvious. Black Panther. Black Panther is the first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture or in any major category at the Oscars. A total of 7 nominations it was given. This is the 18th feature in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I saw Black Panther twice in theaters. I loved the movie. It was great. But the thing is, I wish that other superhero movies that came out prior to Black Panther would have been given the honor of being Best Picture. Certain movies that come to mind are like Logan, that came out 2 years ago, and then The Dark Knight, which is by far, in my opinion, one of the best Batman films that have ever been made. Though, nonetheless, I'm glad that a superhero movie is being acknowledged by the Oscars, and hopefully in the future, more movies will precede what Black Panther has achieved. Alright, next movie we have is Roma. This movie's up for 10 Oscars. It is the type of movie that the Oscars would pick, but what makes this movie so great is that it is Netflix's first feature to be up for Best Picture. And this is coming from a stream service where you can watch your movies at home. So you're just one click away versus walking to a theater. Next up, we have Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, I love this movie. I thought it was great. It was entertaining. The story could have been a little bit more deeper on Freddie Mercury's life, though I really loved it. It's up for 5 nominations in the Oscars. What makes it interesting, though, is that this is a movie that the audiences loved more than the critics. Critics, if you can see on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 62% as of now versus an 89% for audiences. That's almost 30%. Usually you don't see movies that are right on the verge of being rotten, according to Rotten Tomatoes, to be up for Best Picture. So if it does win, this will be the lowest critical score to win Best Picture. Last on here, we're talking about A Star is Born. Nominated for 8 Oscars. I did see this movie. I really enjoyed it. For most movie buffs, we know that this is not the first time we've seen this story. This is actually the 4th time. First time being in 1937 with Janet Gaynor. Almost another 20 years later, we saw it again in 1954. And then, once again, another 20 years, 1976, with Barbra Streisand. Now, you normally don't see a lot of remakes when the nominations are out for Best Picture. So this is very interesting to me that they put this movie in the list. Granted, critics loved it, audiences loved it. It was a well-made movie. Bradley Cooper produced, directed, acted, played his own instruments. He wrote the screenplay. It was well made, using the same storyline that has been used the last 3 times and have it reflect towards today's standards. And Lady Gaga, good female lead, but due to the popularity of it, I believe they chose this movie. Not only is it good, but the audiences love it. So it has to be considered in this Best Picture category. So those are the 4 movies that I believe stand out this year out of all the nominations. Funny enough, the 4 that I just mentioned were the ones that I've seen. The other 4 nominations for Best Picture I haven't seen yet, so hopefully I'm being able to see them before the Oscars actually air, which I believe is February 24th. And I plan on doing a video probably the week before talking about what I think is going to win for all the Oscar nominations in every category. Guys, I want to just thank you for clicking on my video and giving it a chance. This is my very first one on my channel, but if you want to hear more from me in the future, just click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to talk movies and more, just come to this channel. In the meantime, this is Ryethemovieguy saying dream big and soar high.